This is officially your MDT Live Episode 17 official preview, man. I'm going to be running down what to expect out of this show and tell you guys a little bit about what to expect about this episode. Now, I am constantly working on this every single day, little by little, and it just takes a while to come together, man. But it is in the works, and we'll get it out as soon as humanly possible. But on this card, and I'm going to run down the card, I'm going to run down the show, what to kind of expect about it, and just give you a little bit of information. And I do plan on doing a separate video where we're going to break down the history of the Fed or just kind of get you caught up. So if you've never seen an MDT pick Fed video or you've never seen an MDT wrestling action figure show or video before in your life, then I'm going to catch you up to speed so you don't have to go back and watch the entire MDT wrestling playlist. I honestly, up to a certain point, I probably wouldn't recommend it anyway. You know, it's an older style, especially those years upon years ago when it first started. They're not very good. They're not very good in my honest opinion. There's some spots here and there. There's some highlights and things, and maybe it was just kind of a production of its era. Maybe you can let me know what you guys think about that. But I think that overall, I wouldn't go back and watch all the beginning episodes and things like that. Maybe for lore and purposes, but I'm going to give you a review / breakdown catch-up video before we post the next MDT Live episode of 17. So the next episode is 17. The last MDT Live episode we did was episode 16, and that was all those years ago. So we will get into that, man. But let's break down the show. Let's run down the show about what to expect on this show and kind of get into it. And I guess we will have some background lore, I guess, in this video that'll catch you up a little bit, but it won't have all the ins and outs, details, storyline purposes, all those things. You'll get nuggets. You'll get little nuggets of information, but let's dive into this, man. Previewing MDT Live Episode 17, man, let's get into it. So this is going to be our first show in 5 years, I think, or just a little under 5 years. Maybe it's just over. I can't remember off the top of the dome, which is ludicrous, but it's just the way of the world, man. Different life priorities take over, different things happen, and now we are set to come back, and I'm excited for it. It's been a very fun process to learn, and it's been challenging as well, which I've talked about on the My Damn Creators podcast, which you guys can go check out, of course, with me and WSC, but this is an episode that should be very fun. It's a great comeback. And the thing about this specific episode is that coming back, we are only, I think, 2 MDT Lives and 1 Vindication away from the end-all be-all, which is our WrestleMania-style show. So that is the crux of it, man. I'm excited for that, and we're not that far away, which I think works out perfectly with timing because now we're in this new era with new innovations. Had we done the episode all those years ago or done the show all those years ago, I don't think it'd be as grand. I don't think it'd be as epic. I don't think that it would, like, of course, maybe it would have been good for the time, but I think in the modern day with the modern tech and things that we have, the figures, I think it's going to make it that much more awesome. But let's get into this show, man. So first episode in 5 years, Eric Bischoff will, of course, be on this show. I don't want to give any spoilers, but I will give you nuggets of information that preview, and then we'll let it play out. But Eric Bischoff will, of course, return here. He'll be on this show. That should be very exciting to see him get back, and I have some plans to update him. Of course, we do have that Ruthless Aggression Elite, but that'll be fun to use for a little bit to get some usage out of that figure. Waited years on that figure, and we finally got it. You know, it's funny, you compare it all those years ago to the original figure and the custom we made, it looks identical. It's just officially made by Mattel, which is really cool. But the 3 matches that are announced for this show we'll get into right now. The first matchup is going to be Dolph Ziggler and CM Punk. Now, they have a little bit of a history, some different things going back and forth. I think Dolph Ziggler was supposed to, or he thought he was going to win that last chance battle royal going into Hell's Gate, and then CM Punk surprised him from behind, eliminating him and last qualifying for the Elimination Chamber. Well, you fast forward to Hell's Gate and the pay-per-view, Dolph Ziggler ambushed CM Punk, took him out, and pretty much pulled a edge, right? He took him out and he replaced him in the Elimination Chamber, and then ultimately almost won the MDT Championship, which have been absolutely nuts coming out of Hell's Gate, but he did come up short versus the Tribal Chief, the big dog Roman Reigns, spearing him, taking him out, and retaining the MDT Championship. So Dolph Ziggler and CM Punk have come to blows. I think even on episode 16 they got into it, where Ziggler did lay out CM Punk. And so those guys are going to be set for a matchup on this episode to kind of rest that feud, see, you know, if they can blow off some steam together and see them come to blows here on episode 17. So we do have Dolph Ziggler and CM Punk taking on each other. The next matchup is pretty interesting. It is going to be a #1 contendership World Tag Team Championship match for the MDT World Tag Team titles. Those, of course, belong to the Usos of the Bloodline. Those are our champions. The Usos are going to find out who is going to be wrestling them at My Damnation for the World Tag Team Championships. We have Rated RKO set to take on Jurassic Express in a number one contendership matchup. Now, if you guys go back to the Hell's Gate pay-per-view, Rated RKO had come out and been in their way, and then we saw the debut of Jurassic Express at Hell's Gate, who came out and kind of, sort of stood tall there, and so we need an official World Tag Team Championship match taking place at My Damnation, so we do have Rated RKO and Jurassic Express coming together. They will wrestle on this show to see who is going to go on to My Damnation to take on the Usos for the World Tag Team Championships, which should be an exciting one. And then our main event of the evening is the biggest matchup, I think, and it is going to be non-title. However, there are huge implications on this matchup in the main event. It is going to be Roman Reigns taking on Dean Ambrose in the main event of MDT Live Episode 17. And if Dean Ambrose is successful and defeats Roman Reigns, he will be added to the Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns championship match happening at My Damnation, pretty much making that a triple threat match. But if Roman Reigns defeats Dean Ambrose will be vanquished from My Damnation. He will be banned from the building, won't be able to participate in any sort of fashion, pretty much, eliminating him from the show altogether. He will not be able to compete for the Alley Katniss Memorial Battle Royal Trophy. He will be blacklisted from the building and not a part of that massive payday there at My Damnation. So that right there is your main event. It should be an exciting one, Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. Of course, we still have the Royal Rumble winner, Seth Rollins, looming around. You have the Bloodline also always hovering around. And, we saw Seth Rollins pretty much agree to Dean Ambrose. He told him that he would be he's fine with Dean Ambrose trying to get a shot. Dean Ambrose had saved Seth Rollins multiple times, pretty much saying, without me, you would not be in this position. And Seth Rollins was like, to hell with it, I don't even care. Of course, Bischoff was like, you don't create matches around here, I do. So he made it official for this show, and that should be a fantastic one. Of course, other storylines that are taking place, and I'll get into the nuts and bolts of that in a different video, but other storylines that are taking place, current Extreme Champion Kevin Owens, he continues to thrive on MDT Live. He's been on a monstrous run there, and on the last episode, he was attacked by Brock Lesnar in a Santa suit, and, everything like that. We got to see that on MDT Live's episode number 16. And so he was, Brock Lesnar was in disguise as Santa. He came out, beat the hell out of Kevin Owens, shocked him there after Kevin Owens had previously taken out Santa Claus, and Brock Lesnar ambushed him there. So that seems to be the feud headed into My Damnation. Brock Lesnar versus Kevin Owens for the Extreme Championship. And then, of course, another big storyline that is taking place is RVD with the Money in the Bank briefcase, the John Cena looming over his head. Who ran over Rob Van Dam. If you guys didn't get to see any of that, then I will catch you up in that recap video. I will do my best to try to explain everything and bring it all together. And I'm in the background working on a video currently that just takes a lot of work, plugging in clips and giving you guys narration that's easy to follow. So that is what we're going to be doing there. And so that is what we've been working on. So that is our three matchups. That's some other storylines that are taking place. Of course, Jack Swagger is the current U.S. champion. He has been champion for a little while now. He's running around with his USA goons. I don't really know. We'll see if he appears on MDT Live episode 17. There are a lot of big stakes happening on this episode, man. But I really, watching it back, editing the footage, it's been a lot of fun, man. It actually makes me giddy. It's exciting. I will say it's a lot of work. It really is. It's so funny because you take this long break. The previous episodes, while they were difficult to make and it was a whole lot of work, I feel like nowadays it's almost twice the work. Just with the, it's not just your classic pose and take photos anymore. There's so many different, just variations of different things going on, man, with camera movement and all these different elevations with the editing, and there's so many more sounds and things you can do to upgrade your setup and things like that just make it so much better and so much more lifelike and really engulf you into the show. So I'm very excited for you guys to see it, but that is kind of a preview of MDT Live episode 17, man. I remember years and years ago we did a preview, something like this, a very long time ago, I think, previewing one of the episodes, and we used to do a preview before we, made that next episode, and maybe that's something that we can work on in the future, for Vindication, MDT Live, and then, of course, for pay-per-views, that will be a thing, but Yeah, man, we're just slowly working at it. I'm not giving myself a deadline necessarily because I'll just disappoint myself if I don't hit it, but I am working every single day, and I was shooting for the beginning of June. I mean, it's still early June, but days go by so fast, and my schedule is ridiculous, and I have to be very meticulous on that scheduling and that filming time and stay on top of it so that we can progress further because time just goes, man, and there's so many in-depth things going on, man. But I want to know down below what you guys think of the show, what you're excited for on the show, and where you think we're headed, man. I would love to hear from you down in the comment section below. But for the most part, I think that's all that I have here. Of course, I can't get too into it because I don't want to give out spoilers, but there's your preview, right? The WWE will upload, kind of what to expect. They'll upload their Raw previews and stuff and what's announced and things. Of course, Roman Reigns will be addressing the MDT universe after a 5-year break. That will be on the show, of course, which you can check out a snippet of. We already have a snippet of that uploaded already in short form on the YouTube channel, so you can kind of get a preview of some of that. It's not the full segment, but it is some of that segment. It's like a 3-minute cut of that segment if you guys want to go check that out. But that is going to wrap it up for me, man. I hope you guys did enjoy. I'd love to know what you guys think down below and everything, but I appreciate you so much. Thank you guys for watching. Have a blessed one, and I'll catch you guys later. But I'm really excited for you guys to see this new episode.